You can't imagine that many buyers feel torn between a performance hatchback and a compact crossover SUV, but if you're one of these indecisive individuals, you'll want to know about the Mercedes-Benz GLA250, which inexplicably merges these segments into one handsome package. From the outside, the GLA250 offers the lifted suspension and some of the rugged styling cues of a crossover SUV. But it's not exactly one of those. The seating position is compact hollow, the cabin volume is at the small end of the segment, and the high beltline and short windows exaggerate the sense of being low to the ground. So, it's a hatchback? Well, it's not exactly one of those, either. The GLA250 4MATIC starts at a reasonable $35,425. But approaching the options sheet with a heavy hand can quickly burn through another $10,000. Our test car came equipped with the $2,300 Sport Package 19-inch wheels, cross-drilled front brakes with painted calipers, AMG body styling bits, a $460 backup camera, a much-needed $550 blind spot monitor, the $1,480 panoramic sunroof, Apple CarPlay for $350, mountain grey metallic paint for $720, and a neat, if slightly gimmicky, illuminated star logo for the grille $550. The grand total of $41,975 is a bit steep for something this size, but it's not really bad by class standards. Comparably equipped, the Audi Q3 and the BMW X1 can cost more, and an Infiniti QX30 we tested recently, which shares the GLA250's platform and engine, rang up a $43,700 dub. Punchiness in a bite-size package. Under the hood is a 2.0-litre turbocharged four-cylinder engine that produces 208 horsepower. It's eager to play, as long as you use the paddle shifters for the 7-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission to keep the boost up. When the vehicle is driven hard, the transmission is a willing partner, snapping off quick and smooth shifts. Mercedes-Benz claims that the GLA250 with 4MATIC all-wheel drive a front-drive version is available can run to 60 miles per hour in 7.1 seconds. But we easily bested that figure using the car's launch control function to get to 60 miles per hour in 6.1. That's half-hatch performance, with our long-term Volkswagen GTI matching the GLA250 in the same measure, albeit with a 6-speed manual. To access launch control, select Sport mode, turn off the traction control, engage the manual transmission controls, and hold down the brake pedal. With the throttle floored, the engine revs to 3,200 revolutions per minute or so. When you're ready, lift off the brake. The front wheels slip just a little, which helps build revs before the all-wheel drive system shifts some power rearward to help pull the GLA250 off the line. Of its rivals, only the BMW X1 comes close 6.4 seconds to 60, but it needs 20 extra ponies under the hood to do so. 5 drive modes are available: Sport, Comfort, Individual, Eco, and Off-Road. As distinctive as these sound, we noticed only subtle differences among the lot. Off-Road mode retards throttle response, while Sport sharpens it slightly. In Eco mode, the transmission is more eager to upshift to higher gears, and air conditioning performance is weakened. There's little discernible difference in the steering among any of the modes, despite suggestions to the contrary in the setup menu. The GLA250 shares its platform with the GLA-Class, which means steering that's light and precise, if withholding of feedback. This Mercedes-Benz is a competent handler, despite some understeer at the limit, with body motions that are well controlled. But the same suspension that keeps cornering attitudes relatively flat might simply feel too stiff for many. That the GLA250 is so eager to abandon its SUV aspirations and marketing and try its hand at being a sporty hatch makes it endearing. Where it fails to convincingly portray itself as a performance car is in its braking. While the pedal feels firm and inspires confidence, we measured a 173-foot stop from 70 miles per hour. That's on par with its crossover rivals but is 17 feet longer than our long-term view GTI hot hatch. The GLA250's additional weight and higher center of gravity are likely to blame. Perhaps calling it a warm hatch would be more appropriate. Split personality. So, the GLA250 suffers from a bit of an identity crisis. It's not quite an SUV, not quite a performance hatchback. Heck, it's not even quite a Mercedes-Benz. The interior, although stylish and sophisticated in design, lacks the polish and refinement that we expect from the three-pointed star. Some of the materials seem cheap, and while the standard 7.0-inch infotainment screen functions are fairly intuitive, the cartoonish navigation graphics look out of place. Highway cruising is not up to usual Benz standards. The firm suspension creates a choppy freeway ride and the wind ruffling past the side mirrors is intrusive. Other details live up to the GLA250's premium intentions. A silver cull panel wood trim is optional, covers much of the dashboard and has subtle textured detailing. Satin finished metallic trim throughout the cabin looks classy and feels solid. The instrument panel features two large round analog gauges flanking a small digital screen. It's an upscale design. The gauges are rendered on a silver background and have large red needles, and the screen in the center of the dash functions as a high-res information center. The driver's seat offers plenty of adjustability and front row spaciousness is good, if not exactly crossover roomy. However, we found the seats to be overly firm and, aside from an adjustable thigh pad, lackluster in support. After a long day exploring the back roads of northern Michigan followed by a forward drive home, we were left with a sore back, stiff legs, and a newfound longing for one of the GLA250's rivals, the Lexus NX, which offers much more comfortable seats. Rear seat space is at a premium, too. It's small even for two adults. The stylishly sloping pillar means getting in and out requires careful attention to avoid cracking your skull. Once in, the longer-legged will find accommodations disappointingly tight. In an attempt to provide adequate headroom, Mercedes engineers positioned the seats low to the floor, leaving tall riders with their knees elevated, which becomes fatiguing, especially on longer journeys. Shorter passengers and young children should be okay, and when compared with compact cars, the GLA250 passes muster. Although the GLA ultimately comes across as compromised, those who want a little bit of everything may find its crossover styling, tidy dimensions, available all-wheel drive something few hatchbacks offer, performance, and luxury brand cachet to be desirable. To that final point, maybe there's a case for that illuminate star grille ornament after all, because even if no one can figure out whether the GLA is a hatchback or a crossover, they'll all know it's a Benz.